Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brrr, baby. Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area. Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brrr, baby. Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brrr, baby. Jason,
All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. God bless everybody. In the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Guys, today is FOMC. Pretty much. I don't know. It's the most important. It's the most important. Wait a second. What's going on here? I don't know. It's the most important. It's the most important. Aha! There we go. I had an echo there for a second, y'all. It's the most important day of the year. It is FOMC day. As we know, guys, today, in approximately half an hour, Jerome Powell will be coming out of the closet with fresh news. Are they going to cut interest rates? Are they going to raise interest rates? Are they going to keep them the same? Well, it's pretty much baked into the cake. We already know the answer to that. 97.2% of people, 99.4% of people are saying, Jason, listen, they're going to do nothing. Nothing! All right? Now, what does this mean for us Bitcoin traders? I'll tell you what it means for us Bitcoin traders. It means really what he says during that press conference is going to be important. All right, we're going to be watching it live right here. All right, now we're in some positions, as can be seen here. We are in some positions on Bitcoin. We're in some positions on gold, baby. All right, we're pumping gold right from the setup, given in real time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord when I let everybody know I've taken the long on gold. All right, gold is absolutely pumping. By the way, guys, you can trade gold using your Tether now these days. It's pretty dang cool. You don't have to open up a traditional brokerage account. We got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Major shout out to the chat, guys. Make sure to smash up the likes. Make sure to smash them up big. We're going to be giving $1,000 away today, guys. Here's what you need to do if you want to win $1,000. All right? What you need to do is you need to head on over to KCEX, all right? KCEX, the exchange KCEX. Sign up using the Jason Casper link, and our winners are going to be selected from there, okay? So, make sure to go do that, y'all. And, yeah, link is in the description of the video for KCEX exchange, lowest deal on fees, all right? We got to give a major shout to everybody in the chat right now. Major shout to everybody in the chat right now. Major shout to you guys. Here, I'm going to post the KCEX link in the chat here. Sign up for a chance to win $1,000. All right, boom, baby. There we go. Sign up for a chance to win. First of all, major shout out to Preparing for War. Major shout out to Roboballs, who says, pump the biddy, baby, let's go. Pump the biddy, baby, let's go. Shout out to Arnold from the Philippines. Shout out to Jills, who says, hey, y'all. Shout out to Slam Banjo. Shout out to Remits, who says likes, and Mick with the good old plunger. Guys, if you don't have a plunger, check one, check two, check into the plunger. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. You're not a real trader if you don't have a plunger. Major shout out to HHC, first X-toe. Nothing will happen seems to be the catchphrase of the decade. Of the decade? Nah, I'd say of like the last few months. Alright. How long till FOMC? We got about 25 minutes. Major shout out to Red Elephant in the house, baby. Shout out to Franz Dip. Alright. Shout out to Daryl Oofton. What's going on? Win decision very soon. Very, very soon. Can we talk about the hair, baby? Oh, man. The gorgeous locks are just flowing out of Jason Casper's head today. Major shout out to Crypto Crank. He said, Jason, you're our only man. If you can't trade it, no one can. Shout out to Crypto Crank, my man. Make sure to go subscribe to him on YouTube. Alright, he's out there in the trenches doing this thing every single day. Alright, so as we know, guys, Jerome Powell, the man of the hour, he is going to be coming out the dang closet telling us exactamundo what we can expect here. Now, here's the deal. I think we're going to see some volatility. We have been seeing the precious metal market go absolutely crazy. Alright, this is gold right now, guys. Gold right now is over $5,000. We're currently at 5,300 USD. Alright, I think we're going to see some volatility, maybe a dump, maybe a pump, I don't know. Silver as well. Silver right now is in this range, but well over $100 an ounce. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. And Bitcoin, of course, is stuck within this range right down here at the value area low. We're at prime areas, ready for some big, huge moves. All right, ready for some big, huge moves. Now, of course, we're in a few positions, baby. First of all, we are long on Bitcoin. All right, we are long on Bitcoin again. These are the trade setups given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, baby. All right, also, we are long on the gold from the setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Trade taken in real time. As you can see down here, I've taken along on gold from the gap fill. All right, this is honestly my first time ever trading gold. Right, this is my second gold trade ever in my life. All right, look at that entry, baby. Look at that entry, baby. Bam, boom, bam, bomb, bizzle. Bam, boom, bam, bomb, bizzle. I'm excited to be trading gold. So now quickly, before Jerome Powell makes a decision, we need to discuss what's happening with Bitcoin. This is a big make it or break it. First of all, there is still a threat of a government shutdown happening. This has caused a data blackout. We don't know if CPI data will be out on time. This may mean that Jerome Powell during the press conference may say a lot of I don't knows, which means this whole thing could turn into a giant nothing burger. All right, now his tone is very important as we move into this press conference, because the only thing we really have, if they keep rates the same, is his tone. Are they going to be dovish? Does it look like they're going to be slashing rates throughout 2026? If the answer is yes, that is bullish for risk assets. This is bullish for things that are not the dollar, and that includes Bitcoin. All right, if he comes out hawkish and he says, look, you know, inflation, it's going back up, and it looks like we might need to have to pause interest rates for much longer just to let things cool off. That could cause Bitcoin to take a massive dumperoni and cheese. Now, here's the thing. We are within this area here. This could be looked at in a few ways. First of all, this could be looked at as a bear flag. This could be looked at as a bear flag. Or this could be looked at as a channel that would break to the upside and get a move up to around $110,000. Now, we have some interesting developments. All right, I have some very interesting developments. In fact, breaking news right now, guys. Breaking news right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is breaking news, and I'm your host, Jason Casper, here from the newsroom. Looks like Bitcoin's printing a green dot on the daily market Cipher B. And this is some big breaking news right now. Green dot on the market Cipher B. Let's go to the location of the incident right now and take a look at this green dot on market Cipher B, which will confirm in 5 hours and 20 minutes after Jerome Powell gives his press conference. This is a critical green dot on market Cipher B. Why? Well, because when we came up to this key zone of resistance where we gave the short setup in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, guess what happened? On market Cipher B, we printed the dreaded, scary, upside-down, uneven butt cheek pattern, where as the price is getting higher into key resistance, we have the two cheeks of doom showing their ugly cheeks upside down. In fact, if we take those cheeks and put them on the chart, you can see the resemblance is striking as we have the large left and the skinny right, leading to a move to the downside, which is why we took the short trade in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasoncaspertrading.com. All right, trade setup given, trade taken. Now, as we were coming down to backtest the very important value area low, this is where potentially this is a continuation trigger wave, okay? Potentially. This could give us a bounce back to the top of the range. I think Jerome Powell's tone is really going to set the stage for what is going to happen here. If he comes out hawkish and we get a move to the downside, then I have to say I am fully convinced that we will probably come back down to the bottom of this sideways range. And that now this is the range we will be trading, and we can look for the lows to be taken out here, and then we'll play it by ear when that comes. If he's dovish, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a move to the upside. You know, look at this. If we go to the weekly time frame right now, we've got the red dot, all right? This red dot don't scare me. We've got the money flow crossing the purple. It doesn't really scare me, all right? I still think we could hold the range for a little bit longer, even in the midst of this, because if, let's say, he comes out dovish, look at what would actually happen here on the weekly. We would have a nice oversold bottom, and we'd have a fake out cheek over here, all right? A fake out cheek over here. That could be enough to push us up back towards 94, 95, potentially all the way up to 110. Now, first, of course, before we get to 110, I'd say $94,000 is the prime target of a move to the upside, right? Prime target for a move to the downside on Bitcoin is coming down to the 83 liquidity at least. I'd say more likely 80K. Prime target to the upside is going to be $94,000. Why 94,000? Well, it's because if we take a look at the order flow, we can see, let's go to a higher term time frame chart here, the 1 hour. You can see that there are many, many, many shorts that have opened up in this whole chunk of price action right over here. All right, many shorts have opened up in this chunk. And that means if Jerome Powell comes out dovish and he says things that make people want to FOMO into Bitcoin, we could start to squeeze the shorts, right? Squeeze them and see a big rise up to the support resistance flip that we have right here at around $94,000, right? And that would also give us a very beautiful introverted head and shoulders pattern, right? Introverted head and shoulders pattern. We have right over here, if we take a look, we have our shoulder, we have our head, and we have our shoulder. And if we break the neckline, we could see that pump back to the key support resistance flip, right? The introvert, nobody pays attention to the introvert. All right, in high school, he's a nerd, out of shape, low self-esteem, can't make eye contact with girls. Still can't to this day make eye contact with girls. All right, but that's besides the point. That introvert in high school, although they had no friends and didn't get invited to parties, they were working hard at McDonald's, took everything they had and put it into Bitcoin back in 2012. Now we're in our mid-30s. Bitcoin's $100,000. Now all the girls from high school want to talk to that introvert. It's the same that happens over here. No one pays attention to the introvert until they finally break out, right? That's exactly what could happen right now. Of course, now the introvert, he's changed. He grew out his dreads. He's got a nice pair of sunglasses. He's got a gold chain that's real gold. It's not plastic. It's real gold. And he has a really nice office. It's not a green screen. It's a real office. Expensive sunglasses. No, they're not cheap, man. They're real. Of course, this is YouTube. Everything's real on YouTube. That's the first thing you should all know about YouTube. Everything's 100% real. All right. Now, let's see. Let's take a look at gold, silver. First of all, guys, gold, I'm telling you, this is some crazy stuff. So let's talk about the gold trade quickly. This gold trade, long from $5,000. The beautiful breakout and backtest of 5,000 on gold. Essentially what happened here is, guys, we had a gap. We had a gap over the weekend. Friday, you could see that the price closed right here at around 4,987, right? And then we opened up again right here at 5,015. We had that gap, all right? The gap in the candles. We simply come down to fill the gap, and that's exactly what we were waiting for on gold, right? We had this gap down here, looking for that, all right? When we come down to there, I let everybody know I've taken the long on gold from the gap fill. We have seen a big pump. Obviously, I've realized a lot of profit from this trade already. We have a big breakout. We're up $300 from the entry, and you can see I've taken a profit up here. And so now we're going to let the rest sizzle. All right, but gold right now, very interesting stuff, because, you know, I would say this: we're continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. The 4-hour time frame on gold, some slight divergence, nothing too serious. Let's check out the daily on gold. I mean, we have invalidated bearish divergences. Money flow looks good. I would be very careful shorting gold, trying to catch in price discovery. But let's come down to our 1-hour time frame here. It's pretty obvious that support on gold in the event of a dump, right, during this press conference, major support for gold is going to be right here. All right, we have this major fair value gap here. This is the 1-hour time frame. You see this 1-hour candle is pretty much, there's no support or resistance here. So coming down into this zone, more specifically, more Atlantically, coming down to backtest 5,100 to this resistance that we had here from Monday all the way until the breakout on Tuesday, that's going to be now support. Now, if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see that lines up literally exactly with the Fibonacci golden pocket here. I'm going to go ahead and put on our 0.5 Fibonacci retrace as well. You can see the 0.5 Fib lines up literally perfectly with this little support resistance flip that we have over here at $5,161 per ounce of gold. Guys, can you believe how expensive gold is right now? I cannot believe this. I have made so much money on gold in the past 2 months. It's not even, it's insane, actually. It's insane. All right. I was looking at some of my gold accounts last night. They're up crazy amounts of money right now. You know, I've been into gold for a very long time. I've been into gold longer than Bitcoin. And I don't usually check my gold accounts like I do my Bitcoin portfolio. But man, it is crazy. I honestly, I cannot believe this, as it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes until Jerome Powell is going to come out the closet and give us his analysis here. I've been buying gold all the way since down here. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. And look, here's the thing. It's not the value of gold going up, man. This is just the writing on the wall. The writing on the wall, right? The days of the dollar are coming to an end. The days of the dollar are coming to an end. Now, let's take a look what's happened here locally with gold. We had a beautiful price action. If you were scalping this today, we had a beautiful silver crossing key support right now. Let's check out silver. What's happening? What's happening with silver? Oh my goodness. Guys, silver is coming down to a very key level on the chart right now. Let's check out silver. Look at this. Silver coming down to a very key level on the chart right now. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Let's check it out. 5-minute time frame. How's she looking? Money flow looks decent, man, but we are 10 minutes away from FOMC. Not the best time to be taking a trade, in my opinion. But silver is coming down to a pretty key level right here. Let's check this out. Silver coming down to a pretty dang key level right now. We have 11 minutes until FOMC. Guys, the reason why this is such a key level for silver is because we have a little bit of liquidity right here. If we take the fib pull from the last impulse to the high, we've got our Fibonacci golden pocket right down around this area as well. All right. Man, things are looking intense for silver right now. We've got some bearish divergence, a little bit up at this high. We failed to make a higher high. All right, this is a pretty key zone right now for silver, I have to say. A pretty key zone. A pretty key zone. Let's see if we get a bounce. Let's see if we get a little bit of a bounce here on silver. All right. The dollar is dumping. Gold isn't pumping. Did I sell any of my gold? No, I haven't sold any gold. All right. Gold for me is like a long-term investment. Guys, a quick reminder. All right. We are going to be giving away $1,000. So make sure to sign up to KCEX using my link to be eligible to win the $1,000. All right. Sign up to KCEX using my link to win the $1,000. All right. Let's see. I could take a silver trade right now. Let's see what happens. Right. On BLOFIN, you can trade silver. If you use my link for BLOFIN, you get very low fees here. Let's see what happens here. We've taken out this low on silver. You know what? I'm going to go for a very high risk trade here. All right. I'm going to go for a very high risk trade. Don't copy this at home, guys. All right. Don't copy this at home. I'm telling you. Look at the fees, right? $10,000 on the trade. A $3 fee. That's pretty good. Let's see what happens. We're going to put our stop. This is very risky. Jerome Powell's coming out the closet very soon. All right. This is risky stuff. It's extremely risky. Let's see what happens, man. We put $10,000 onto gold right now. High risk trade. All right, let's see what happens. 10 grand, high risk. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm trading, right now I'm trading gold on BTCC. Sign up using my link to get a 10% deposit bonus. I'm trading silver on BLOFIN. BLOFIN right now, from mouse to mansion. All right, these are all the cool things you can get on BLOFIN. Plus, BLOFIN has given me a very good deal on fees. 0% limit order, 0.02% market order. You cannot get these fees on BLOFIN unless you sign up using the Jason Casper link. I'm not just saying that. They've given me the good fees because they know my community loves to scalp, baby. And I said, BLOFIN, look, man, we can't scalp unless you give us some good fees. They said, all right, Jay, we'll hook it up, baby. Hey, Jay, we're a hook it up, baby. Here we go, guys. Look, the countdown is in full swing right now. 7 minutes, 25 seconds until Jerome Powell, the man himself. Why are the fees so low for me on BLOFIN? Because BLOFIN and me, we got a little connection, baby. Me and BLOFIN, we got a thing going on. BLOFIN, as Andy would say. Yeah. Shout out to Andy from Bitcoin Census. Guys, make sure to smash up the likes, baby. We got 900 people in the house, 200 likes. Fees is the real edge in scalping. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Did info get released? No, we got 6 minutes, guys, until the info gets released. All right, 6 minutes until the info gets released. Let's see what's going to happen here, guys. All right. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, this is a very high risk silver trade right now. All right, very high risk. Actually, technically speaking, it's not. We could even look at this down here. I'm gonna mark this level on my chart right here. Make sure to smash up the likes, guys. Make sure to smash up the likes. My goodness, the likes must be smashed. The likes must be smashed, baby. Let's see what we got over here on Bitcoin, man. Look at this. Look at this Chop City, man. This is the craziest Chop City I've ever seen in my life. Chop City. Sheesh. Shout out to my man, Vlad. BLOFIN sounds like a James Bond villain. We gonna pump? We gonna dump? Siblings or data-ing? BLOFI? I don't get it. How's the Bitcoin looking today? Man, Bitcoin is looking like she needs to make a move soon. Bitcoin needs to make a move real soon. She needs to break out of this range real soon. And I think she very well can. All right, so silver, guys. Silver coming to an area of support. Nice 15-minute bull div here, I do have to say. 15-minute does look pretty nice, actually, on silver here. All right. We've got $10,000 on a silver trade right now, baby. We got 10 grand on silver. We've got, how much do I have on gold? Not that much. I got like 40, almost $50,000 on gold. I've got 10,000 on silver. I've got, let's see. I've got 75, about 150, 250, like $275,000 right now on Bitcoin positions. actually about $375,000 on Bitcoin positions. All right, so look, altogether, I've got about $400,000 in the market right now, 5 minutes from FOMC. That's what's up, baby. That's what's up. All right, make the Jerome Powell song. The Jerome Powell song? No, but here's the thing. I did sit down with Donald Trump before the stream. We had a very private conversation, and this is what he had to say to me.
Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brrr, baby. Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brrr, baby.
Yeah, you heard it. You heard what he said, baby. You heard what he said, baby. All right, let's see. We got 4 minutes. Let's take a look at our countdown. 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Man, I cannot wait. I've got butterflies in mi estómago. I've got the butterflies in mi estómago. All right, let's keep our eyes on this. Let's keep our eyes on this silver trade that we're in here. All right, we just put 10 grand on silver, guys. All right, we just put 10 grand on silver. On BLOFIN, where you can trade silver. It's the countdown, baby. Smash up the likes. Jerome reminds me of an overgrown meerkat. Not sure what that is. Shout out to Maloof Doctor, who says these videos are hilarious. Look, I know Trump said just keep it between you and me. I just couldn't help myself. I could not help myself, Donald. I'm so sorry, man. I couldn't keep it just between you and me. I could not keep it just between you and me, man. You know? I couldn't keep it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Good old DT, my man Donald Trump. All right. Let's see. Who's excited? Guys, if you're excited, pop a 1 in the chat, baby. All right. And then after, of course, after we get the info, in 2 minutes, half an hour, we have the press conference, and we know the press conference is the real make it or break it thing, which is going to affect the markets. All right. We're going to be watching the dollar. We're going to be watching Bitcoin. We're going to be watching gold, silver. In fact, let's take a look at the dollar right now while we await. While we await the dollar. The dollar's been getting a rally today. Let's check it out on the daily. So the dollar looks like she's trying to get a fake out of 96.2. All right, this is DXY here. Man, I would love to see this thing dump. I would love to see this dollar dump. Unfortunately, we are getting some bull div here for the dollar. All right, let's check out S&P 500. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. So S&P 500 did get a fake out of the high as well. All right, with some bear div. Whoa, come on, Jerome Powell. We need good news, baby. We need good news, Jerome. Good news, Jerome. We're going to have to call him GNJ. Good news, Jerome. GNJ, baby. GNJ. Come on, silver. Come on, gold. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. Can we pump it up to a new all-time high for Bitcoin? I don't know. All right. Emo sido excitiato. I'm ecstatic. We got mad people excited in the house. 100-ounce bar online for Jason. We're going to win. Jason number 1. Am I number 1? Copper, Platinum, Splashfire Films. Shout out to Divine Hood. He loves these Trump conversations. Man, Donald Trump, my man. He gets me excited every single time, you know? He gets me excited every single time. I would love to see gold pump like crazy. I would love to see gold pump and silver pump like crazy. Let's go, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, let's go. Bitcoin right now rejecting from the POC of the range, by the way. That's what's happening with Bitcoin. We are rejecting from the POC of the range. 90,300. This is the POC of the range. Let's check it out. it's the Fibonacci golden pocket as well. We got the Fibonacci golden pocket. We go to the 4-hour. We have this zone of resistance up here. POC of the range. We've got the golden pocket local. All right, that's why Bitcoin's getting moved down. But personally, look, the 4-hour maybe printing a top. I cannot wait for this press conference, guys. We are definitely going to get some insane volatility, in my opinion. All right, some insane volatility, in my opinion. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see, let's see, Bitcoin, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. All right, here we go. It's time. All right, no change. Exactly as predicted. Silver's pumping, guys. Look at this silver pump. Look at that silver pump. Oh, my. Oh, man. The adrenaline, the dopamine, the rush is amazing. Oh, Jason, just relax. Do some plunger breathing. Whoa. We're getting a wick to the downside. Breaking news. Silver's pumping and now it's dumping. Oh my goodness, this really is breaking news, guys. We interrupt this regularly scheduled programming to bring you breaking news. We just put $10,000 on silver. We got a big move to the upside. Now we're starting to get a move to the downside. Now we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin doing absolutely nothing. Bitcoin doesn't care about news. Bitcoin doesn't care about anything. Bitcoin's become totally apathetic. She wakes up in the morning, she looks out the window, she goes back to sleep. She wakes up at noon, she looks out the window, she goes back to sleep. She wakes up at the evening, she looks out the window, she goes back to sleep. Oh no, Bitcoin's dumping, breaking news. Bitcoin's dumping, you can see on the screen right here. We're gonna forward it to our agent who's on the scene right now. Here we are at the Bitcoin price getting a big move down after Jerome Powell has just made the decision to keep interest rates the same. Big purple candle, Big Daddy Perp, come to give you the herp. Oh man, we're getting malaria from the area. I don't mean to scare you, but oh my goodness, we're dumping, and let's take a look at silver as well. Ah, a big red candle. Big Darth Maul. Oh my goodness, we're turning back to yellow. Come on, good old fellow. Oh no, we're red. Oh. Guys, no, never fear, never fear. Jerome Powell is here. In half an hour, he's going to come out and clear up all our fears. All right. We have a big old pump and dump operation. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you guys even believe this nonsense? This is crazy. The whole market's rigged. The whole market's rigged. Trading is rigged. I'm done with this nonsense. I'm done with this nonsense, baby. Okay. Okay, Jason, get the act together, my friend. France Dip is naked. He's naked. He says, I'm naked. Naked. I'm also naked. All right, adrenaline, baby. DXY skyrocket. Let's check out the dollar. The dollar. Let me hear you holler. Oh man, the dollar with a blue Darth Maul candle, coming down the hall with a blue Darth Maul. And silver, coming out the gate, going straight up, straight. All right, look at this. Come on, baby. Let's check out the Bitcoin order flow right now, and then we'll check out the silver order flow. All right, we got to refresh Market Monkey. Shout out to Market Monkey. Man, if you love markets and you love monkeys, this is the order flow software for you. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy macaroni. 15 million shorts opened up right here, man. I didn't see that. And we're seeing more and more people are shorting out the wazoo right now. They're opening up their wazoos and pulling out short after short after short. They're pulling it right out of their wazoo. Ah, they're pulling it out. It hurts. But they don't care. They're shorting the bottom. And now we're getting the green candle to the upside, baby. Let's squeeze those shorts. Come on. Let me see a yellow candle on silver, baby. Let me see a blue candle on gold, baby. How's gold doing? Oof, man. How is gold doing right now? It looks like this is a frozen trading platform. Let's see. Let's refresh this. Did we get logged out? No, we're good. We good. We good. All right, let's see how gold is doing here. All right, gold also in the zone. Big Daddy Perp. Now we're struggling with 3 big juicy blues. The big juicy blue. Take you to the trading school. Sit back, relax, and I'll give you a big juicy blue. Here we go. Big yellow mustard. Coming up pumping, baby. Come on, big yellow mustard. BYM, as we call him back home. Let's see what else we got going on here. Bitcoin with the move to the down, back to the up. Man, These markets are crazy. How's the dollar? Come on, we want that dollar. We want some. Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, we got a big juicy blue, but now Big Daddy Perk's coming in trying to give you the herp. The dollar's about to get the herp. Bam! To the downside. We give you the herp to the downside, baby. Derp, derp, herp to the downside. Good old derp, derpity herp, herp to the downside, baby. Let's check out Bitcoin once again. Silver. Look at this, guys. Silver bouncing from the area. Let's check out gold right now. Just chopping around. Okay. I do have to say, the one thing that does concern me about gold is the 1 hour bearish divergence. All right. We can see clearly as the price took the highs of the range. The 1 hour time frame did give us the dreaded upside down uneven butt cheek pattern on market Cipher B. We can see big old fat left, big old skinny right. It means you dump down all night. Fat on the left, skinny on the right. It means the price dumps down all night. Let's go down to a lower time frame on gold. You know, we did have a nice bull div here on gold. It's looking a little ambiguous. I'm cautious on gold, guys. I'm cautious. I'm cautious. I'm cautious. All right. Let's see what happens when Jerome Powell comes out. Jerome has a new 19-year-old girlfriend. Is that true? Guys, this is gold right now. All right. This is the gold price. Trade given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I've taken the long on gold from the gap fill, which was from the $5,000 back test. All right. Setup given in advance in the Casper Crew. Trade taken in real time in the dang Casper Crew. All right. I'm long on gold right now. You can trade gold on BTCC and BLOFIN. I'm currently long on silver on BLOFIN. Links in the description. And guys, BLOFIN is offering the lowest fees that BLOFIN offers for me. They said, Jay, we're going to give you the lowest fees we offer. No one else can get these fees unless they click your link. That's what they said. I'm not even kidding. This is a high-risk trade, as Jerome Powell is moments away from coming out and telling us what he's been hiding for years. All right? He's going to come out and finally tell us what he's been hiding for years. What exactly is that? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Man, they were right. CME Market Watch, Fed Watch. They usually get it right, guys. They usually get it right. Jerome Powell, the man of the hour. He's so sweaty, he better grab a towel. Jerome Powell. No me queda nada más que medio Trump. Sí, señor. Y mi amigo, me y Donald Trump had una conversation before this stream, and he says this to me.
Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brr, baby.
Oh, man, Trump, I love to hear it. I love to hear you say that, Donald Trump. Say it again. The printing press is going to go brr, baby. It's going to go brr. Now, while we wait, let's take a quick look at some assets here. First of all, guys, the dollar did get a nice bullish engulfing before the press conference on the news of nothing. Bitcoin has gotten nothing. Like nothing, all right? Nothing is happening. We need to wait for the press conference. Silver actually getting a nice little bit of a bounce from the area. Okay, took a little high-risk long trade here on silver. It's high risk because Jerome Powell's about to speak, right? But we did see, as we came down to this area, we do see some potential bullish divergences forming here. Look at market Cipher B. We had right here something like this, strangely resembling a set of uneven gluteus maximi. And then, of course, we are seeing once again this right here, potentially another wave of divergence, giving us the coveted trichecular formation. 1, 2 butt cheeks, followed by the third trichecular. All right, the TCF. The TCF is how us trading professionals call it. When I'm in the trading office with my boys, we say, this is how we talk. We say, oh, my old chap, did you see the TCF on the chart? Oh, indeed, Jason, I saw that TCF. Are you speaking of the trichecular formation? Ah, yes, the trichecular formation. the pattern that all us professional traders watch for. All right, here we go, baby. 10 grand on silver, baby. Here we go. We're up $100. That's nothing. We're up $100. That ain't nothing, baby. But look, if we hit a new all-time high on silver, this $100 could turn into quite a bit of something. All right, Jerome Powell, we need you. Jerome, where are you, Jerome? We need you to pump our trade on BLOFIN with the lowest fees to trade silver and gold on BLOFIN. Link in the description. We need you, Jerome Powell, to pump our price of gold. The trade that was given in real time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasoncaspertrading.com, and click the link to join the best trading community in the world. Come on, Jerome, we need you, baby. We need you to pump the like button on this Jason Casper YouTube video to smash the likes up to a new all-time high. Guys, a quick reminder that KCEX is giving away $1,000. If you want to win $1,000, sign up to KCEX using the link in the pinned comment. You don't have to deposit anything, but they want to give you money to trade on the exchange because they want you to use the exchange so that they can get your money. I mean, that's really what it is. They want your money. They want your fees, and so they want you to trade on their exchange. And so they're giving you money so you can trade on their exchange. All right? They're trying to get you hooked. It's like a drug dealer trying to get you in that first time for free. All right? Now, only sign up to an exchange, guys, if you actually know how to trade. Because here's the thing. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll lose everything. If you don't know what you're doing and you want to learn, check out the free trading course I have on my YouTube channel. It's 100% free. All right, I'm literally giving you the secret sauce for free. For free. I'm not even kidding. 100% free on my YouTube channel under playlists. An 18-part trading course for free. People charge $3,000, $4,000 for that. For a fraction of the info. Here we go, baby. We're starting to get a nice move. Look at the silver move we've gotten so far. Man, oh man, look at that juicy silver long. It's a long silver. It's a quicksilver. Quicksilver. You know that bluegrass band called Quicksilver? Quicksilver? You guys know Quicksilver? Any bluegrass fans in the chat? Guys, if you're a bluegrass fan in the chat, put a 1. Jay, can you make sure you do sign language? Yeah, I'll do sign language for sure. Jerome in the room with his GF? Really? Every real trader knows TCF, baby. Yeah, for sure. Look at this, man. Look at this pre-press conference pump on silver. Look at this gold also trying to make the move here. Silver and gold trying to make the move. Bitcoin trying to pump, but it's not looking so smooth. Let's check out the order flow for Bitcoin. Man, oh man, we had a lot of shorts open up here. If we reclaim $90,000, those shorts are going to get squeezed like an orange in a fresh electric juicer. Used for the first time. No old pulp from last week's juice, because no one cleans their juicer. You have an electric juicer, you don't clean that stupid net thing out. No, you just let the juice pulp sit there and rot. A little mold is good for your immune system next time you make juice. Because juice is so healthy for you guys. I don't know if you knew this, but, you know, don't eat fruit. No, take the fiber out. Take everything out except the sugar and the water. Sugar and water, that's true energy. Sugar and water is true energy. You want to walk on a treadmill all day with long, gorgeous dreadlocks and a purple hat that weighs 700 pounds and a gold chain of real gold that weighs 200 pounds? It's all about the juice with the mold in it, baby. And speaking of moldy juice, Jerome Powell himself, in about 15 minutes, is going to be coming out of his closet with a fresh glass of freshly squeezed juice with a moldy juicer to tell us exactly what he thinks the financial landscape is looking like. Are they going to slash rates to new lows? Look at this silver pump, baby. Look at this silver pump, baby. Man, I should have went on $100,000. I'm only 3x leveraged and I have no money in this account. You know, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. It is what it is. It is. It is what it is. Oh, come on, Bitcoin. Come on. Come on, all these open trades. We need some action, baby. We need some action. My grass is orange. Let's check out the dollar. Let's check out the dollar. 3 bluegrass fans in the chat. Man, you guys need to get onto your... I love bluegrass. I love bluegrass. All right, let's look at the dollar. The dollar's starting to take a little bit of a dumperoni. And with 15 minutes until Jerome Powell, I think it's very important that we keep our eyes on this dollar chart here. and that we smash up the likes. Is now a good time to buy stocks? There's always a good time to buy something, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. Quicksilver is also a surf band. Really? It is a bluegrass band. Who's the guy? Quicksilver. All right, let's see here. Who's the guy? Quicksilver. It's a psychedelic rock band. Let's see, bluegrass. Doyle Lawson, right? Yeah. Now this right here. This is the picture of true American bluegrass. Look at that. Does this not make you happier than anything else in the world? I mean, just take a look at this, guys. Would you look at that? Doesn't this image right now, just stare at this image. Does it not bring you just pure bliss and pure joy into your soul? This brings me more bliss and more joy than what Donald Trump said to me right before I started this live stream.
Jason, keep this just between you and me. But I told Jerome Powell, I said, Jerome, you're going to make a pump today, or you are going to kiss my orange area where the sun does not shine. Jason, the printing press will go brr, baby.
Oof, man, that sends shivers down my spine. As gold is pumping, baby. Gold is pumping. Silver is pumping. Oh my goodness, would you look at this pump on silver, baby? Look at this pump on silver. We've got about 10 minutes until Jerome Powell comes out. All right, about 10 minutes until he comes out. Oh man. You know what? I'll be honest with you guys. You know, I'm gonna have to take us to the bathroom. Okay, because I have to pee. I have to pee so bad. I drank so much water today. I was so dehydrated when I woke up in the morning. I woke up about an hour ago and I drank 3 gallons of water. So we're gonna go to the bathroom together. All right. Smash up the likes for the stream, baby. You know what stream I'm talking about. That good old-fashioned pee stream. Woof. There we go. Now look, guys. I know it looks like I'm not gonna wash my hands. Okay. That's not true. Don't look at the glasses. All right. You might see the reflection. Don't look at the glasses. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. That's. Here, let's see. Oh yeah, that's a good pee right there. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Woo, yeah. Man. Oh wow. All right. Woo, man. Do we have audio? Check one with the audio. Whew. All right. Yo, check 1, check 2. Man. Oh. Look at that silver pump, baby. I'm telling you. That is crazy. Now we got to get back into the very expensive office. You know? Let's see here. How are we going to make this work? This is a very professional office we got back here. Wow. Jason Casper, the most professional YouTuber on the internet. No wonder he has millions of subscribers. No wonder he has millions of subscribers. Oh man, okay, well, we are back in the office. Ooh, man, thank you for the trip, baby. Okay, so here's the deal. We have 10 minutes until this press conference. We are going to see some serious volatility coming on in. All right, we're gonna start seeing some serious volatility coming on in. All right, Jerome Powell. Let's see. Tom Crown also live. Alex O also live. Everyone's live. Everybody's live. Everyone's live. Let's get back to our silver trade and our Bitcoin trade here. Yeah, Here we go, baby. Now here we go, baby, yeah. Here we go, baby, yeah. Here we go, I apologize, but you know your boy ain't so wise. Jake Casper lost it all making burgers and fries at McDonald's. Now let me chop you down to size. Hopefully you know we keep our eyes on the prize, cause we got the news coming out. FOMC, Jerome's coming out. I was smiling, but now I gotta pout, cause the blue purple's pumping, but now I got some doubt, cause the candle's turning blue, but now they're turning purple. Jason Casper is a nerd, and they call him Steve Urkel. I got the gas in my belly, got a burp, yo, don't you know 7-Eleven got the slushy slurp, oh. Now the candle's turning blue, the Bitcoin price about to show you what she gonna do. So just sit back, relax, I'ma take you to the trading school. Jason Casper on a treadmill, that boy ain't no fool. He got a plunger up in the hand. Sit back, we'll drive across the land, from the east to the west coast, sand to sand. California, LA, you know I'm the man. Walmart, West Coast, Target, you know I like to shop, you know I never starve it. Going to the produce section for the salad. Bitcoin price looking like she's at it again, cause the candle's pumping up. Bitcoin like the coffee in the cup. Caffeine in my veins, it's not enough. Gotta take another shot if you know it's not too tough to inject into the deltoid, the purple juice. Now you've heard mine anoint, cause you know that's not a word. Have you heard? Jason Casper on the treadmill, the boy is the bird. So we take the glasses off, we put them on. Thug life as we sing the punk song. J Pow coming out so sweaty, got a towel with the snout. Next thing you know we're looking like an owl. The big eyes hoot, the profits go ching. Sit back as the doorbell will ring. Bitcoin price, listen to me sing. We're coming out the gate, now listen to me ring. Here we go, big shout to Roni. Jay on the mic, this ain't no baloney. About 8 minutes, Jerome comes out, eating spinach, now listen to me shout. Jay Casper, we're chilling in the house. We're trading the silver with a nice silver bounce. But oh snap, let me take a peek. Does market Cipher B have any upside down butt cheeks? Big on the left, so nice and juicy. Skinny on the right to round out the booty. Well, I don't see him, but we start to dump. Hopefully we turn around, hopefully we pump. All right. Okay, so we are getting moving to the golden pocket. That's why we're getting a rejection. That's why we're getting a rejection, baby. All right, let's see. A rejection. That's not what we want to see, baby. All right. We got 7 minutes, baby. Yeah. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I think we can get a little bit more up here on gold, all right? I think we can get a little bit more up here on gold. 7 more minutes left. All right. We're going to watch the press conference here live. We're going to watch it live, baby. Whew. This just mirrors it on here. All right. Let's check out the order flow on silver real quick. Market Monkey. Check out silver. Okay, so honestly, guys, silver has some bullish CVD right now. Silver's got some bullish CVD here. Check it out. As the price is making higher lows, we're seeing open interest increase. We're seeing CVD decrease. That is bullish CVD, all right? We've taken the liquidity from this level right here. All right here. Let's see. Yeah, you can see, took the liquidity from this level right here. We're trying to get a move back into the range. All right, got a little bit of time until Jerome Powell comes out. And yes, I will be doing the sign language, okay? Fear not. Jason Casper will be doing the sign language. All right, good old OF. Yeah, for sure. The old OF. Daily green dot should give us the confidence we need, baby. Adding at the bounce, it says preparing for. Adding to what? Out of curiosity. Adding to what? Let's see, yeah, let's get the press conference on screen here. We're getting close, baby. We're getting close. We're getting close, man. All right, Bitcoin's trying to make a move forward, guys. We got about 4 minutes. And just a reminder, guys, we are giving away $1,000. All right. Here's how the giveaway is going to work. Today, you need to sign up to KCEX using my link in the pinned comment. All right. You don't have to deposit anything. You have to sign up to KCEX using my link in the pinned comment. All right. Then tomorrow, the next live stream I do, that's when we do the giveaway. So you got to be here today, sign up. You got to be here for the next live stream that I do. And you can win the 1,000. All right. So sign up today and come back to the next live stream I do. Make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications for a chance to win $1,000 of trading money on good old KCEX. All right. Lowest fees. It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game. Look, the giveaways get tough in the bear market, baby. Bear market giveaways, man. I'm telling you. We got 3 minutes until JP comes out. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's see what we got here. How's gold? Let's see if JP is speaking yet. Looks like no. Looks like he's not speaking yet, guys. All right. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The egg code, right? Yeah, let's give the egg code quickly here. Let's give the egg code. All right. The egg code. We got 1 minute. All right, the egg code. What's it going to be today? What's the egg code going to be? The egg code. It's going to be FOMC. All right, that's easy. The egg code is going to be FOMC. All right, FOMC, guys, is the egg code to get eggs in the Discord. As you know, eggs are the currency to get cash in my Discord. All right, let's see. Jerome, is he live? Here we are.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The U.S. economy expanded at a solid pace last year and is coming into 2026 on a firm footing. While job gains have remained low, the unemployment rate has shown some signs of stabilization, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy rate unchanged. Having lowered our policy rate by 75 basis points over the course of our previous 3 meetings, we see the current stance of monetary policy as appropriate to promote progress toward both our maximum employment and 2% inflation goals. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. Consumer spending has been resilient, and business fixed investment has continued to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has remained weak. The temporary shutdown of the federal government likely weighed on economic activity last quarter, but these effects should be reversed as the reopening boosts growth this quarter. In the labor market, indicators suggest that conditions may be stabilizing after a period of gradual softening. The unemployment rate was 4.4% in December and has changed little in recent months. Job gains have remained low. Total non-farm payrolls declined at an average pace of 22,000 per month over the last 3 months. Excluding government employment, private payrolls rose at an average pace of 29,000 per month. A good part of the slowing in the pace of job growth over the past year reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. Other indicators, including openings, layoffs, hiring, and nominal wage growth, show little change in recent months. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.9% over the 12 months ending in December, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.0%. These elevated readings largely reflect inflation in the goods sector, which has been boosted by the effects of tariffs. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing in the services sector. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have declined from last year's peaks, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%. Since last September, we have lowered our policy rate 75 basis points, or 0.75 of a percentage point, bringing it within a range of plausible estimates of neutral. This normalization of our policy stance should help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its downward trend toward 2%, once the effects of tariff increases have passed through. We are well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments to our policy rate based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Monetary policy is not on a preset course, and we will make our decisions on a meeting-by-meeting basis. To conclude, the Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We at the Fed will continue to do our jobs with objectivity, integrity, and a deep commitment to serve the American people. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. Thank you. I wanted to ask that, you attended the Supreme Court hearing last week on the Lisa Cook case, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent criticized that as political. Can you say why you attended and what you would say in response to the Secretary's criticism?
So let me start with, I don't respond to comments by other officials, whoever they may be. It's just not appropriate to do that. I will tell you why I attended. I would say that that case is perhaps the most important legal case in the Fed's 113-year history. And as I thought about it, I thought it might be hard to explain why I didn't attend. In addition, Paul Volcker went to a Supreme Court case famously in, I guess, 1985 or so. So it's precedented, and I thought it was an appropriate thing, and I did it.
Great. And then just quickly follow on the job market. You mentioned last month that the household survey might be distorted, and you also mentioned the potential for overcounting jobs, which would suggest that we're still in a negative hiring pace. So do you see the drop in the unemployment rate as solid? And what's the basis for saying that things have stabilized? Thank you.
So, yeah, really two questions. One is, so we're getting through the distortions in the data from the shutdown. However big they were in November, they're smaller in December. So we're getting to a place where they're no longer material. They're still there, but it's a tweak here and there. The reason why we changed the statement, let me pull it out, was simply, it used to say that judges that downside risks to employment rose in recent months. So we saw, data coming in which suggests some signs of stabilization. I wouldn't go too far with that, but some signs of stabilization. There are also some signs of continued cooling. And so we thought that was no longer an accurate description of the data. In addition, the outlook for economic activity has clearly improved since the last meeting, and that should matter for labor demand and for employment over time. So for those two reasons, we thought we would take that language out of the statement.
Nick Timrose, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you've generally avoided engaging with political controversies directly, and the video statement on January 11th was a departure. What made this different, and are you concerned it could draw the institution further into political debates? So today on, I'm simply going to refer you to the statement that I made on January 11. I'm not going to expand on it or repeat it. So I'm just not going to, this is really about the press conference and the economy and what we did today, and some ancillary areas, but I'm not going to be getting into that. Can you say whether the Fed has responded to the subpoenas? I have nothing for you on that today.
Mike.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio TV. Have you made a decision on whether you would remain as a governor of the Federal Reserve? And if so, would you tell us what it is? And if not, when might we anticipate a decision? No, and I really, once again, have nothing for you on that today. That either. Why would you want to leave it all under the circumstances?
Again, I don't want to get into this. Not something I'm. There's a time and place for these questions, but not something I'm going to be getting into today. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire Jones, Financial Times. Thanks a lot for taking my questions. In another one that might, lead to a similar answer. We've seen quite big movements in the dollar over recent days. What do you think is driving the U.S. currency lower? And have you been at all concerned just by the extent of the volatility we've seen this week? Thank you.
So, Claire, as you probably know, we don't comment on the dollar. Really, the administration, especially the Treasury Department, has the job of oversight over the currency and exchange rates and all that. We don't comment on that. It's not our role. So, I have nothing for you.
But, I mean, what's your view on the market movements? I mean, what do you think behind them? Is it asset managers diversifying? Is it?
Yeah, I just don't, we don't talk about the dollar. We don't talk about what moves it around. It's just not appropriate for us to do so. Really, the Treasury Department has that.
That's hilarious.
Their role, their bailiwick, and we stay off it. We do monetary policy and some other things, but we don't comment on the dollar. Sorry.
Neil.
Hi, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. Obviously, no SEP in this meeting, but in light of the slight firming up of the language around growth in the labor market in the statement, should we assume that the timeline for any further rate cuts is pushed back compared to what people might have thought in December?
Well, first of all, if you look at the incoming data since the last meeting, clear improvement in the outlook for growth. The data have come in, and sentiment, the Beige Book, everything comes in suggesting that this year starts off on a solid footing for growth. Inflation performed about as expected, and as I mentioned, some of the labor market data came in suggesting, we're evidence of stabilization. So it's overall a stronger forecast, really, if that's your question. I'm not sure I answered your question.
But in terms of timing or pacing of any additional easing?
So we haven't made, what we'd say about this was that after this meeting, after the 3 recent rate cuts, we're well positioned to address the risks that we face on both sides of our dual mandate, and we'll continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the incoming data, the implications for and the outlook and the balance of risks. Haven't made any decisions about future meetings, but the economy is growing at a solid pace. The unemployment rate has been broadly stable, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. So we'll be looking to our goal variables and letting the data light the way for us.
Steve.
Steve Leisman, CNBC, and sticking with questions you might answer. Thank you. You had previously, I believe, described the current policy rate being at the higher end of neutral. And if you look at the longer run, the SEP and the longer run rates, 16 of 19 officials are actually below there on their long run. Is the Fed still in a process of bringing it down towards a middle range of neutral? And what would it take to get there?
So the count I did was that 4 of the 19 were at or above that. Maybe I missed by 1, but I thought it was 4. And if you look at the dealer survey, it was 10 out of 58 where we're at or above. So you're right. It's the higher end of the range. What we say is it's within the range of plausible estimates. This is the higher end of that range, but so for some people they think it's neutral. I think, and many of my colleagues think, it's hard to look at the incoming data and say that policy's significantly restrictive at this time. It may be sort of loosely neutral, or it may be somewhat restrictive. It's in the eye of the beholder, and of course no one knows with any precision. So is that, you had a follow-up?
I get what you're saying, but some officials have described the Fed being in a mode of bringing it down eventually over time. Are you still in that mode, or is this a place to hang out?
Yeah, no, I would say if you look at the SEP from December, most people had additional normalization. But at the same time, we've done a lot of the process of normalizing. A good piece of it is done with 75 basis points, and before that, 100. It's 175 basis points we've cut since we began cutting in September of 2024. So you've moved now to, Fed funds is running just a little below 3.65%. So you've moved a good way, and we think we're well positioned here to watch how the economy performs, look at the data. We're not making decisions about future meetings, but we do think we're well positioned after those 3 cuts to let the data speak to us.
Amira.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Mara Mokway from Bloomberg News. To what extent did the committee discuss the possibility of cutting at this meeting or in March? And how are you all thinking about the conditions that would merit another rate cut? Is there broad agreement on the committee about what it would take?
So there was broad support on the committee for holding today. Broad, I would say, including among non-voters. So that's where that was. Of course, some people did want to cut and dissented, but the committee pretty broadly for holding today. we're not trying to articulate a test for when to next cut or whether to cut at the next meeting. What we're saying is we're well positioned as we make decisions meeting by meeting, looking at the incoming data, evolving outlook and all that. And, we're in a position where, we still have some tension between employment and inflation, but it's less than it was. I think that the upside risks to inflation and the downside risks to inflation have probably both diminished a bit. So, we'll be looking at that. It's about how you weigh the risks to the two goals and how big those, and quantify them. And so there are different views on the committee, and, we'll find our way forward as the data evolve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. Has the effects of tariffs already moved through the economy on prices?
A lot of it has. So basically, there are many different estimates, and they're all highly uncertain. But most of the overrun in goods prices is from tariffs. And that's actually good news, because if it weren't from tariffs, it might mean it's from demand, and that's a harder problem to solve. We do think tariffs are likely to move through and be a one-time price increase. So most of the overshoot, if you were to take that out, inflation, core PCE inflation is running just a bit above 2%, ex the effects of tariffs on goods. And the other good news is, if you look away from goods and look at services, you do see ongoing disinflation in all the categories of services. So that's a healthy development. So that's what's going on. The expectation is that we will see the effects of tariffs flowing through goods prices, peaking, and then starting to come down, assuming there are no new major tariff increases that are begun. And that's what we expect to see over the course of this year. If we see that, if we see that, that would be something that tells us that we can loosen policy. Also, if we see something that suggests that the labor market is not stabilizing, that in fact the downside risks reemerge, or the data just get worse, we'd have to look at both of those. We have a two-sided mandate.
If I could, if President Trump does pick a new Fed chairman before May, what does that look like? How would you work with that person, and what does that transition period look like?
I don't have anything for you on that. That will depend on Congress's actions and things I can't speculate on.
Howard.
Howard Schneider with Reuters. Thank you for taking our questions. Given the changes in the statement and all you've said so far, is it fair to describe risks to both sides of the mandate as roughly balanced right now? And is the next move necessarily down?
I'd say that the upside risks to inflation and the downside risks to employment have diminished, but they still exist. So there's still some tension between the mandates. Are they fully in balance? Hard to say. And we think our policy's in a good place. I've just discussed reasons why we might change our policy, and we'll just have to see how the data lead us.
I'm wondering, a minute ago you said you felt expectations were consistent with your mandate, that the 2 and the 10-year break-evens have moved quite notably in the last couple of weeks, I believe. Is there any concern on that front?
I mean, I recently looked at all of the both survey and market-based short-term inflation expectations have come way down. They were in a good place at the beginning of last year. They spiked around Liberation Day, and now they've fully retraced in the last few months. So that's very comforting. And the longer-term inflation expectations have remained in places that are very consistent with 2% inflation over time. So expectations have been solid, and they reflect confidence in the return to 2% inflation.
Andrew.
Apologies if this is a little bit repetitive, but in the past you've said that the reason you cut rates was that the risk to the labor market was greater than the risk to the inflation side. Is that still true? We haven't made. You're right. We saw the labor market weakening, and we acted. And I think that was the appropriate thing to do. We will always act to address what we see as the economy moving away from our goals.
risks to both of the variables are a little less. I think the upside risk to inflation, again, a little bit less, and the downside risk to employment, a little less. I just would say that. I'm not making a judgment about how, one of them is more at risk than the other, just that the risks to both of them have diminished.
Okay, thanks. BIS wrote a paper last summer which concluded that global investors were hedging their dollar exposures in ways that previously they hadn't because of policy uncertainty. Do you agree with BIS?
We really don't see much at all about that whole story. There's just not a lot of data that suggests that there's much to that.
Thanks.
Anna Swanson with the New York Times. Can you talk more about what you would need to see in the labor market to conclude it's time to resume easing? Do you need to see further deterioration in the labor market, or would it be enough for inflation to soften?
So we'll always be looking at both things. And so there could be combinations, infinite numbers of combinations that would cause us to want to move. Certainly, a weakening labor market would be an argument for loosening. But what's happening with inflation? If inflation were at the same time getting worse, you just have a very difficult situation there. So we'll be looking at both. Clearly, a weakening labor market calls for cutting. A stronger labor market says that the rates are in a good place. We'll have to be making similar judgments, too, on inflation, though.
And if inflation does pick back up and the labor market doesn't show further signs of deterioration, is there a chance that you could raise rates rather than simply remaining on hold? What would you need to see to consider hiking?
We don't take things off the table, but it isn't anybody's base case right now, anybody's base case, that the next move will be a rate hike. But, ultimately we'll do what we think is the right thing. But that's not where people's expectations are right now.
Victoria.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. I wanted to ask, you've talked in the past about concerns about the U.S. fiscal trajectory, and we've seen in the Japanese bond market a lot of turmoil recently, in part due to concerns over their fiscal and long-term economic outlook. So do you worry that the U.S. could at some point find itself in a similar situation to Japan, whether for fiscal or demographic reasons?
Over time, you've seen that U.S. rates have remained they haven't moved a lot, really for a while, but they haven't moved a lot because of what's been happening in Japan. So it's more of an over time thing. The U.S. federal budget deficit is, uncontroversially on an unsustainable path. The level of debt is not unsustainable. It's very much sustainable, but the path is unsustainable. And the sooner we work on it, the better. But right now we're running a very large deficit at essentially full employment, and so the fiscal picture needs to be addressed, and it's not really being addressed. So that's important. I'm not in any way connecting it to some sort of near-term market event, but ultimately it's something we'll have to deal with, and that in the end game, that's where you wind up, is in some kind of a difficult thing. But that's not where we are. It's not where Japan is either. But it's certainly not where we are right now.
Does it reduce the effect of your rate cuts that longer-term rates have overall not really budged that much?
I wouldn't say that. The thing is, technically, higher longer-term rates means less accommodative financial conditions. But remember, many things move longer-term rates. It's not mostly what happens on the short end. There can be effects of longer-term rates from moving our policy around, but it's much more assessments of the fiscal path and fiscal policies and risks and things like that move the 10-year around. You can look back and find periods where we've been very actively moving the policy rate over the course of a year, and over the course of that year, the 10-year is exactly where it started. So there's not a tight link between 10-year rates and the overnight rate.
Elizabeth.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. Republican Senator Tom Tillis, who sits on the Senate Banking Committee, said he will block any Fed nominee, including the chair, until this investigation into you is resolved. Do you support this move by the senator, and what conversations have you had with the senator?
I've got nothing for you on that.
More broadly, what would happen to American households if the Federal Reserve loses its ability to operate independent from politics?
So really, the point of independence is not to protect policymakers or anything like that. It just is that every advanced economy democracy in the world has come around to this common practice. It's just an institutional arrangement that has served the people well, and that is to have a separation between, to not have direct elected official control over the setting of monetary policy. And the reason is that monetary policy can be used, through an election cycle to affect the economy in a way that will be politically worthwhile. So this isn't, I'm not talking about the U.S. context, this is every advanced economy democracy of any size. So it's a good practice. It's pretty much everywhere among countries that look at all like the United States. And I think if you lose that, first of all, it would be hard to restore the credibility of the institution if people lose their faith that we're making decisions, only on the basis of our assessment of what's best for everyone, for the wide public, rather than trying to benefit one group or another. If you lose that, it's going to be hard to retain it. And we haven't lost it. I don't believe we will. I certainly hope we won't. But it's very important, and the reason it's important is that it's enabled central banks generally not to be perfect, but to serve the public well.
You're confident it can maintain that independence at this point?
Yes. I mean, I'm strongly committed to that, and so are my colleagues.
Archie.
Thanks. Archie Hall from The Economist. On that sort of stabilization of the labour market question, how much do you see the weakening we saw over the past 6 months, year?
Oh my, I just can't help it but go full Brit whenever I hear a British guy talk about American financial policy.
Or how much have we seen a kind of real underlying firming up in the state of the labour market, do you think?
Well, part of it is, to your point, part of it just is that labor supply, growth in labor supply has come to essentially a halt from a fairly fast clip of growth over the last couple of years, driven by immigration, and then the halt being driven by a very sudden stop in immigration. So many outcomes were possible with that. Supply came way down. It turns out that demand for labor also came down a very similar amount, maybe just a little bit more, which is why the unemployment rate has gone up. So I don't know whether that's a coincidence or not, but that's what's happened with that part. But if you look at other things, like, for example, just to pick a couple, the Conference Board's measure of job availability that came out, I don't know, was it yesterday or today? But, it shows, it's a survey showing that workers feel like job availability it's a very low
Gold's
reading.
breaking out,
Just
man.
one reading, but it's an indication of softening.
Gold's making a new high, baby.
Part-time for economic reasons, which is a category within the broader U6 category measure, has moved up significantly. So there are lots of, and I could go on and on, there are lots of little places that suggest that the labor market has softened. But you're right, part of payroll jobs softening is that both the supply and demand for labor
Let's go gold
has come down. Growth in those two have come down. So that makes it a difficult time to read the labor market. So imagine they both came down a lot to the point where there is no job growth. Is that full employment? In a sense, it is. If demand and supply are in balance, that you could say that's full employment. At the same time, do we really feel like that's a maximum employment economy? It's it's very challenging and quite unusual situation.
Thanks. And one more on growth and the kind of strong growth outlook, or strengthening growth outlook you're now seeing. How much of that is the fiscal stimulus we're seeing from the beautiful bill, the tax cuts, and all of that?
So you're seeing it already. You don't have much of the fiscal. I think the outlook, you're right. It's financial conditions, and it's fiscal policy for 26. But you've got strong consumption that's been happening before financial conditions have been supportive, but before the fiscal effects really are shown. So essentially, the economy has once again surprised us with its strength, not for the first time. Consumer spending, although it's uneven across income categories, but consumer spending overall numbers are good, and we're benefiting from the AI build out of data centers. That's another thing we're benefiting from. But economy overall, growth is on a solid footing, it looks like, and it's not just those things. It's just the consumer is filling out, surveys that sound really negative and then spending. So there's been a disconnect for some time between downbeat surveys and, reasonably good spending data.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Christine Romans from NBC News. You talked about how consumer spending is uneven. The president calls inflation defeated and solved. The FOMC says it's a somewhat elevated inflation. But you talked about those customer survey or those consumer sentiment surveys and public opinion polls that show that most families say the cost of living is still issue number one. What is the conversation around the table with your colleagues about how wealthier consumers seem to be driving so much of the economy, and why so many families still feel like they just can't make ends meet after 5 years of rising prices? What is that discussion like?
So a couple things. One, there's something to it in that we know that higher income households that tend to own real estate and tend to own stocks, securities, and those assets have been going up in value, and increases in wealth do support spending over time. So, and that's clearly a part of the story. We also know that for some time now, for a year or more, we've been hearing from retailers, for example, that serve lower income customers, whether it be food or the big box stores or anything. They're saying the same thing, which is our consumers are looking to economize. They're trading down from brands, and they're buying less, and it's changing their buying habits and that kind of thing. So we're seeing that, and that is a reality of what we're seeing. They're still consuming, but they're feeling it in a different way. I would say more broadly on affordability, we have a vast network through the reserve banks and also through the Board of Governors, where we talk to small and large businesses and households, and so we do hear a lot about affordability, and we take that very seriously, and we take it to heart, because one of our jobs is price stability, and so the best thing we can do for people who are feeling that squeeze is to keep inflation under control, and frankly to finish the job of getting inflation back down to 2%.
You mentioned the AI build-out as being a positive for economic growth this year. I wonder, as you look at the weakest year last year for job creation of a non-recession year since like 2003, are you concerned about AI maybe supplanting more entry-level work and entry-level jobs, and how does that play into what you're watching about the labor market?
So everyone, of course, is watching AI and the deployment and, trying to understand exactly what's happening. And there's a wide range of possibilities. It's hard to say. And of course, anyone who uses it is amazed at what it can accomplish, right? So every technological wave will eliminate some jobs and create other jobs. And it's always been the case. If you look back, wave after wave after wave, there will be some disruption, but ultimately technology increases productivity, which is the basis for rising wages. And it may not all happen immediately, but over time, it's what enables incomes to rise over time, is rising productivity. So and we always ask, well, this is going to be different, is it going to be different? And we don't know. And we may, in any case, see in the short term jobs that are being eliminated by the capabilities of AI. We may see that. We just don't know what the overall effect is going to be. So how to think about it in macroeconomic terms, it's very hard. We can look at the aggregate data. We can analyze, for example, there is some connection, it appears, between the low hiring rate for recent college grads and AI, but it's not the main or only driver. You hear large companies, though, many of them saying that they either won't be hiring for some time, or that they're hiring less, or that they're laying people off, and they tend to refer to AI when they do that. So we're all watching and learning, and it could certainly have pretty significant effects on the economy, the workforce, and our society. We don't really have the tools to address the concerns that may arise, but we have a lot of people who focus on analyzing it and try to understand what the macroeconomic implications are, which is our job.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Bayi from AFP News Agency. You mentioned earlier that on inflation, the broad expectation was for a one-time price increase and then for inflation to come down. And I was wondering, is your expectation still for inflation to start cooling in the second half of 2026? And if you could elaborate how far we are from target currently. Thank you.
So how far we are from target is, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, we had 3.0% core PCE inflation over the 12 months ending in December, and that's pretty much what we had the year before. So on net, no progress, but the story behind that is modestly positive in that most of the overshoot was in goods prices, which we think is related to tariffs, and ultimately we think those will not result in inflation as opposed to a one-time price increase. Okay, so that's where it is. In terms of, you asked, no one thinks they will, ex ante understand really clearly precisely when this will happen, but there's an expectation that sometime in the middle quarters of the year we'll see tariff inflation topping out. So what we do is when a tariff is put in place, we track the effect of those tariffs over a 6, 7, 8, 9 month period, and you can see for that tariff how long it takes to reach a place where it's affected the price level, and that's it. So we're getting better at that, and our estimate is that it'll be sometime in the middle of the year, but I wouldn't look for great precision in that. But we'll be able to see whether things are moving in that direction. I think we will be able to see.
Richard Escobedo.
Thanks, Chair Powell. I'm Richard Escobedo with CBS News. I want to look outside the U.S. about what's happening outside our shores and how it impacts the U.S. Canada's Prime Minister said last week that there's been a rupture in the global order, and I wonder how you're thinking about geopolitical risk as it relates to the U.S. economy.
So I can't comment on that speech or statement or anything like that. Geopolitical risk for us is, a lot of it is around energy, oil. And so far we haven't, for all the turmoil, oil prices have come down, as you know, and so we don't really see much. Longer than that, it's trade, and the trade, the economy, our economy has pulled through pretty well, you'd have to say, given the very significant changes in trade policy. The U.S. economy has pushed right through. Partly that is that the way that what was implemented was significantly less than what was announced at the beginning. In addition, other countries didn't retaliate, and in addition, a good part of it hasn't been passed through to consumers yet. It's being taken by companies that stand between the consumer and the exporter. So that's where that is.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Jennifer Schonberger with Yahoo Finance. With third quarter GDP growing at 4.4% and the fourth quarter expected to have a 5 handle on it as to what the Atlanta Fed is predicting, at a time when you had a government shutdown and we thought that was going to shave off some growth, you've also got the fiscal tailwinds you've talked about, big tax refunds coming, potential tariff dividend. How could you cut rates and not spur inflation in that environment?
Well, yeah, how could you?
We didn't cut rates today, but it depends on how fast potential output is growing, right? I'm just asking in principle. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but there's growth and there's how fast the potential is growing, and at a time of high productivity growth, potential output is rising. So it really matters whether potential output is growing as fast as actual output, and it would matter over time. The numbers you cite were for quarters, and quarterly GDP is, you need to look at 12 months because quarterly GDP can be very lumpy. GDP was negative in the first quarter last year. So the overall, over the year, the numbers were nothing like that. It was more in the mid-2s for the year.
And how do you explain the divide right now between strong economic growth and the job market? Is it productivity that's filling the gap? And is productivity being driven by AI at this point?
So there has been, you're right, there has been a divide of solid growth, but what looked like a weakening labor market. And that can be explained by
by rising productivity. But I would say we do see signs of certainly of the unemployment rate stabilizing. So it may be we're seeing the beginning of the resolution of those two things. Also, as you probably know, the lore is that when GDP and the labor market get into an argument, in the end, the labor market data is more reliable. GDP data is just very hard to collect and understand, but nonetheless, I think we may be seeing that tension resolving a little bit. Too soon to say with any confidence, though.
Matt Egan.
Matt Egan with CNN. Chair Powell, after today, you have 2 meetings left as Fed chair. You've obviously experienced a lot during your time as Fed chair, served under multiple presidents. I'm wondering what advice you have for whoever your successor might be.
Honestly, I'd say a couple of things. One is stay out of elected politics. Don't get pulled into elected politics. Don't do it. And that's another thing. Well, another is that, our window into democratic accountability is Congress. And it's not a passive burden for us to go to Congress and talk to people. It's an affirmative, regular obligation. If you want democratic legitimacy, you earn it by your interactions with our elected overseers. And so it's something you need to work hard at, and I have worked hard at it. So, and the last thing is, it's easy to criticize government institutions so many ways. I will tell whoever it is, you're about to meet the most qualified group of people you not only have ever worked with, you will ever work with. And when you meet Fed staff,
and you meet Fed staff,
perfect, but there isn't a better cadre of professionals more dedicated to the public well-being than work at the Fed.
The cadre of professionals at the Fed.
To follow up, as I'm sure you've noticed, gold and silver prices have experienced historic gains of late. And I'm wondering how much attention, if any, you pay to those moves and what message you may take from these significant price increases we've seen for precious metals.
Don't take much message macroeconomically. The argument can be made that we're losing credibility or something. It's simply not the case. If you look at where inflation expectations are, our credibility is right where it needs to be. So we look at those things. We don't get spun up over particular asset price changes, although we do monitor them, of course.
Nicole, for the last question.
Hi, Nicole Goodkind-Barron's. Some prominent critics have charged that the Fed's economic models are somewhat backward-looking, but should be more forward-looking, incorporating things like productivity increases from AI. How do you incorporate current and future developments into your analysis and decision-making, and do you have an answer to those critics?
Yeah, so by and large, those criticisms, as somebody on the inside, they just don't make sense, and I'll tell you why. Every FOMC participant writes down a forecast every quarter, right? The summary of economic projections, and that's the basis for how we think about the economy. So, and the other thing is, what an economic model can do is it can grind up all the data for the last number of years, 50 years, let's say, and it can identify what are the relationships between variables A, B, C, D, and all that kind of thing. And it can tell you if you change one of those variables, this is what should happen in the macroeconomy. That's just the way it works. However, the structure of the macroeconomy is constantly changing. For example, we hadn't had a pandemic in 100 years. It wasn't in the model, and we knew it from the very beginning. It was not in the model. A trade war of this scope, we'd never had that in 100 years. And so there's great uncertainty at different points. Another thing I'll say is, when it comes to, technological developments that
raise potential output, some kind of technological renovation, revolution like happened in the 90s here and like maybe happening now with AI. We're all over that. And, everyone studies those periods and, we're very clear-eyed about the possibility that this higher productivity may persist and also that it may not. We're not, no one's sitting here unaware of the possibility of higher productivity. We've been talking about it for 3 years. It long predates the current situation. It's been going on for 5 or 6 years. We've had productivity higher. We've been talking about it that whole time. So it's very much on our minds, and we are well aware that higher productivity means higher potential output, and it changes the way you think about potentially inflation, growth, labor market, and all those things. That's all in our models. I mean, if it's just a question of using better models, bring them on. Where are they? We'll take them. But I think, we certainly are in contact with anybody who does economic modeling, and we're always looking to do better at that. But that's how I think about that.
And just a quick follow-up. We've been talking a lot about tariffs and passing through, and we've been talking a lot about them for the past few months. The trade landscape is still in a constant state of flux. Announcements, threats, negotiations, they're all frequently changing. So I'm wondering how you actually track these, what data or channels are most critical to follow this in real time?
Trade?
Yeah, the impact of tariffs and how they're changing.
Yeah, I think our staff has done a really nice job on that, and they've kind of put it together in real time. So as I mentioned, a tariff gets put in place, you can pretty much track its effects on pricing and on everything, and so you build a model up from all of the tariffs. At the beginning, it was very much of a forecast. Now it's every cycle that goes by, it becomes more informed by actual data, and our forecasts were not far off. What changed was, as I think I said earlier, what was implemented was smaller than what was announced. In addition, we didn't see retaliation internationally, and I think people did generally expect that because we saw that in the past, and that really mattered too. And then the other thing is that pass-through didn't know how fast that was going to be to consumers, didn't know how much exporters would take, how much companies in the middle would take, and how much the consumer would take. And it turns out it's a lot of companies in the middle who, by the way, are pretty strongly committed to passing the rest of it through, which is one of the reasons why we need to keep our eye on inflation and not declare victory prematurely.
Thank you.
We're done?
We're done.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all. Well, that was the lamest FOMC I think we've ever experienced in our lives. Sorry about the video not working for some reason. I'm just I'm a little bit retarded. That's all I can say. I'm a little bit retarded, or a lot. I don't know. So here's the deal. Bitcoin is doing nothing. Getting a little bit of a pump here. Gold obviously has made a new high. Oh my goodness, and we are pumping right now like a wild lady in distress. Okay. Guys, gold trade given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord in real time. All right. Silver trade taken live on this stream at the beginning of the stream in real time. I'm trading gold and silver on BLOFIN. BLOFIN has the lowest fees for Jason Casper. You cannot trade on BLOFIN with lower fees unless you use my link. They gave me a very special deal. Also, guys, if you want to win $1,000, here's what we're going to do. KCEX, the exchange, link in the pinned comment, pinned chat here. Sign up using my link. You don't have to deposit a dang thing. But next live stream, everybody who signs up today using this link, next live stream, so turn on notifications. We're going to be giving away $1,000, but you need to be signed up to KCEX in order to get that money into your KCEX wallet to trade. All right. Let's see. Gold right now, potential pullback because potentially it actually looks pretty strong. I'm not going to lie. We're flipping this area into support right now. But this is a very key level right now, 5,325. If we lose this, if we close a candle below it, which we have not been able to yet, but we're still making a lower high so far. 15-minute candle close below this. We've got some local bear divs. This could probably take us at least down to the Fibonacci retracement, which is going to be between the 0.5 fib and the golden pocket fib, confluence with the high volume node of the range right here, value area high, POC. If we lose that level, I'd be looking to add to my gold trade from this zone. As for silver right now, looking pretty strong. We're trying to break out of this trend line that we've got right here. Looks like we actually are, Brits. Looking pretty strong, not gonna lie. You know, I've taken profit here, half the profit out in the silver trade. My next target is 119 for silver. If we can break this, the reason why my target is 119 for silver is because it's going to be a new high above that previous high that we made yander over at the price of here we go, 117. I feel like a front run 120 is a good thing to do for silver, and that would bring us right to the top of our local range. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, right? We're trying to break right now this trend line, and we are looking like we're trying to do it. At least on BLOFIN, it's looking good. BLOFIN's looking better. This one, we have not really broken out yet, but when we do, we're going to, in my opinion, get some significant follow through. 1 hour market Cipher B on silver, looking nice and tight and ready to pump, baby. So yeah, honestly, gold, silver, that's what I'm looking at right now. Bitcoin, man, I mean, it is like, as Preparing for War said, that kid who always gets picked last for kickball. Because Bitcoin is just not doing anything, man. People ask, Jay, why are you trading gold and silver now? It's because gold and silver has the volatility. Gold and silver has the volatility, baby. All right, and Bitcoin just doesn't, all right? Bitcoin just doesn't. So that's what I'm looking at. Major shout out to everybody in the chat right now. God bless you all. Shout out to Spence. He says, nice call on silver. The 2.618 is at 119.85. Interesting. That's cool to know. Chair Casper would have all the printers on for sure, baby. Look, we are pumping. What's the price for my Discord subscription? It's only $65 a month, in my opinion, compared to paying $400 for some ICT expert that gives you one chart every week with nothing but lines on it. I think it's pretty dang valuable considering we have 3 instructors live trading 3 times a day, in addition to myself. But, yeah, JasonCasperTrading.com. All right, check it out. Check it out. Best dang trading community in the world. All right. Gave the short on Bitcoin from 96K. Gave the short on Bitcoin from the exact top on October 6th in real time. Gave the long trade on silver 2 days ago. I'm sorry, on gold 2 days ago. Did give the long on silver, but I myself didn't take it because I wasn't at the chart. And did take this long trade on silver, which I took it live today, but this was one of the areas that we were prepared for this morning. As you can see right here on this chart that we had in the Casper crew. This was the potential bounce just coming down to the channel bottom with the CDW with the area of confluence right here taking out those lows. All right. So in the Discord, I share my charts with you, my actual charts. I let you know if I'm taking a trade, tell you why I'm doing it, what I'm looking for, all that stuff. All right, all right, all right. Also, BLOFIN, I've got to remind you, has the lowest fees if you want to trade gold and silver. BTCC, trading gold and silver. All right, and KCEX got the lowest fees, period. But you can't trade gold and silver here yet, only crypto. All right, who else we got in the chat? Major shout to Batty. It's so depressing seeing Bitcoin lag. Stocks and metals are the trend right now. Absolutely. Look, as a trader, we've got to go where the volatility is. You know, as traders, we've got to go where the volatility is. So that's why I've been moving on over to precious metals. You know, I'm excited for the volatility. I mean, my goodness, the trades are beautiful. Look at this gold trade, absolutely amazing. And simple. And simple. Right? I mean, really, we took the trade from down here. I added to it a little bit, but how simple is that? Fill the gap. Fill the gap. Gold's on easy mode right now, man. I feel like gold's on easy mode right now. Gold is legit on easy mode. So let's go, baby. Let's gold. Let's gold, baby. I've got my gold chain on today. 2 of them, all right? 2 gold chains, baby. You know, got that bling, baby. J Casper with the bling. You know what I mean? Yeah. 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 All right, so the giveaway, here's how the giveaway is going to work, guys. All right, like I said, sign up on KCEX today, get a user ID. Next live stream I do, we're going to be doing the giveaway. So the reason for that is for 2 reasons. Number 1 is to get people watching my dang live streams again. All right. Number 2 is so that we don't have to ruin today's stream with the giveaway. All right, so next live stream we do, we're giving away $1,000 courtesy of KCEX. Link in the pinned chat. Sign up with that link. Now's your chance. You want to win $1,000 next live stream. Now's your chance. All right, go sign up. Go sign up for some free money. Yeah, this meeting was a whole bunch of nothing. But look, not really. I mean, honestly, look, gold is pumping. Gold is pumping. Silver's trying to pump. And Bitcoin's neutral. You know, I'll take a neutral Bitcoin. I'd rather a neutral Bitcoin than a dumping Bitcoin. But I still have to maintain my bias for the rest of the year, which is sideways and down until the summertime. All right, sideways and down until the summertime. So, you can trade gold and silver on KCEX? Man, what these exchanges got to tell me. All right, let's see. Let's see. Solana, GameFi. No way. No way! Oh my goodness. This changes everything! Are you kidding me? Why don't I know this stuff? This is why I'm not a financial advisor, guys. This is why I'm not a financial advisor. Alright, you could trade gold on KCEX. That means I can scalp gold on KCEX? No way. No way! Man, what an idiot I have been. Like, no wonder everyone hates me. I'm such a moron. Sheesh. My goodness. My goodness. Guys, you could trade gold on KCEX. Gold currently making a new high right now, guys. Gold making a new high right now. Trading gold on KCEX? Oh my goodness, baby. Your gold changed or triple what you paid for them? Bro, I know. I have so many, I mean, you know, I'm super into gold. And I was looking at my accounts last night, and I was like, sheesh, man, they are up. They are up. You know, there's this thing called, you guys should check it out, United Precious Metals Association. United Precious Metals Association. Yeah, check this out, all right? Check this out, all right? United Precious Metals Association. You can create an account, like an actual normal bank account, except every dollar you put into the account is immediately changed into gold. And of course, you can have IRAs and all that, and Roth IRAs and all that, and whatever you want. You know, whatever you want, but it's all gold, all right? So, not only can you effectively store your gold, but you can extend the value of your precious metals through all these benefits that they have, okay? Now, I'm not associated with this at all. I'm not. All right, I'm not affiliated with this at all. And do your own research on this crap, all right? Because honestly, I mean, who knows? Maybe this whole thing's who knows? But I trust this, actually. But maybe I'm retarded, right? But this is, I think this is a good way to actually have exposure to physical, actual, tangible gold and silver without keeping it in your dang safe at home. And I'm not against keeping it in a buried treasure chest outside in the woods that only you know about with a hidden treasure map. But it's an easier way. And so when the value of gold goes up, your account goes up. It's that simple. You know, instead of keeping your bank account in fiat, you keep it in gold and silver. And again, I'm not affiliated with this in any way. All right, so that's just something I personally happen to do. So, and it's crazy to see how much these things have gone up, man, because look at the gold price right now. My goodness. Look at this. This is nuts, man. Gold is creeping up on $5,400 an ounce right now. Silver breaking out of the trend line, man. My goodness. Gold to 6K? It could be. Yeah, XAG is silver and XAU is gold. Everyone likes Jay Casper. Thanks, man. That makes me feel good. That makes me have a good old smile. Good old smile. The reason I have all these wigs is because I want to know what hair I should actually have, right? Buzz cut, dreadlocks, mullet. I'm kind of feeling the mullet, to be honest. Alright, be honest, if you saw me out in the street, would you think it was real? That's what I always ask myself. If I saw myself for the first time, what would I think? What would my judgments be about myself if I saw this out in the street? If I walked up to you talking like this with this accent in the store, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for some pasture-raised eggs. I don't want the supermarket kind. They inject them with the hormones that turn you into a faggot. Can I say faggot here? Doesn't matter. I'm British. If you're British, you can say faggot. It's not offensive. Or if you're American, it's different. Now, what else? Like, if I came up to you in the store and I said that exact thing, would you believe that it was genuine or not? That's how I go about looking for my look. Alright? You can tell it's fake, says C-Train. My goodness. Alright, if you could definitely tell... Alright, the accent makes it real. I mean, come on, right? I'm like an old British rocker, you know, from back in the day. I've maintained my youth through Botox, large amounts of Botox. My goodness, look at silver pumping. Look at gold pumping. Oh my goodness! Man, I think we might need to do a pump song just for the sake of gold pumping, honestly. Yeah, pump song just for the sake of gold. Honestly. Yeah, pump song for the sake of gold and silver. Man, I wish crypto wasn't dead. I wish crypto was still here. I wish the volatility was still here, guys. My goodness. This is crazy. What's up? What about the pump song? 30 seconds of the pump song? I only got 30 seconds of the pump song. Let's go! Yeah! Shout out to the Asset House. God bless you. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. We're gonna die. No, we're gonna pop. We're gonna die. No, we're gonna pop. We're gonna die. No, we're gonna pop. Pop the Bitcoin. Whoa. We're gonna die. No, we're gonna die. No, we're gonna pop. We're gonna die. No, we're gonna pop. Pop the gold. Baby, let's go. Oh yeah. Let's go. 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 All right, baby. Thank you for the super chat. I unfortunately didn't look at platinum at all today. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. Pump the gold, baby, let's go. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. We're gonna jump, no we're gonna pop. Pump the silver, baby, let's go. All right, baby. Up only. Up only, ain't no baloney, guys. Thank you for the super chats, but sadly I don't have time to do it today for copper and platinum, but I'll do it next live stream for sure for Vetty Goat and for my man the Asset House. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for the super chats. I love all of you. God bless everybody. In Jesus' name. May you guys all be super blessed. I'll see you next time.